Okay. I guess I'm supposed to say this, huh?
Yeah.
Are we ready for me to say anything?
Just one more second.
One more second? Okay.
One more second.
Move your
Can
screen,
you guys
Larry.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
What happens if you do that?
I have no idea. That's not the screen.
Larry's the smoke
Okay.
detector.
Yeah, we're
Hey.
Yeah.
all down.
Yes, we're good to go, Larry.
Okay. So this meeting is being broadcast via the Pioneer Tech YouTube channel. I would like to call this meeting to order. Roll call, please. Roll call, please.
Buck,
Present.
Norris,
Here.
Rigdon,
Here.
Rothgeb,
Here.
Pollock.
Here.
Mr. President, we do have a quorum present.
Okay. Agenda item 4, flag salute and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Flag
of the United States
States
of
of
America
America
and
and
to the republic for which it stands,
stands
one
one
nation
nation
under God,
God,
indivisible,
Indivisible.
with liberty
liberty
and justice for all.
for all.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Well, it's good to see you all.
Yes, good to see you all too.
Okay, agenda item number 5. Report, Kel Goff, Executive Director, full-time program.
Yes, so today I'm going to be talking about the follow-up results. As you know, the follow-up results are provided annually by the Department of Career Tech. Our instructors are required annually to follow up on every student in their program and report on everything from completion to wages to credentialing. So this is the results of the report that was completed around the February timeframe. Terry's going to pull up the PowerPoint presentation so that we can share the results with you and those that are out there in the virtual world. You may have to go to the slide before that, Terry. So if we look at the first slide, whenever we're talking about the completion, about the follow-up report, we've got the continuation and completion of students in every one of our programs. So those are the students who have either completed the program, have been a course concentrator, or they're returning the following school year. As you see over the last several years, and we're currently reported on fiscal year 19, which was last school year, our high school students, we have an 88.37% completion retention rate, but with all students, we have an 88.78% retention rate. We would like to actually see those go up a little higher, and typically where the numbers come down a little bit, it would be like high school students who have to go back at semester time. Maybe they failed a class, maybe they had another course they had to pick up for high school graduation. And we always tell students that high school graduation is the most important thing you can focus on. After that is a career tech credential and a certification. So we ensure that we help them try to get that high school diploma. So we'd like to see that higher, but I think we're doing a great job as far as the placement of students and ensuring that the students are retained in the program and complete the program. If you look at the yellow or the gold line right there in the middle, that's the Gold Star standard. I'm always happy to report that we're way above the Gold Star standard, which is set by the Department of Career Tech. And these are the statistics that basically a lot of times determine whether or not we qualify for Gold Star schools. So in this area, we're in pretty good shape. So I think our teachers have done an excellent job in ensuring that the students stay in the program and complete the program. If you look at the next slide, we've got the placement of program compute, I can't even talk today. The placement of known program completers. And this is related to their occupation, whether it's military or in continuing their education. And this is only if they are employed related to their area of training. You can see a steady increase in those numbers as well. Last in fiscal year 18, we had a large jump, but we're still on an overall increase as far as our placement rate. Once again, we're way above the 82.5% Gold Star requirement, and our total placement rate is 90.55%. So we're really pleased with that placement rate. But the next slide is the one that I'm extremely proud of. Something that all of our teachers should be proud of is that our total student placement rate, whether the employment is related or not related, and their continuing education and military, we've got a 96.67% total placement rate, which in my book is
That's
pretty
great.
darn impressive. Now, there is no Gold Star standard related to this one, but I think this just tells the community what we do for our students. Our teachers try to focus on employment related to the career major, but if the student finds a job and it's not necessarily related to the career major and the student is happy about their employment, we're going to encourage that student. We're not going to get them to try to change to a position that's related to their career major. So we think we're doing a great job helping the students out, and a total placement rate of 96.67% in my mind says that we're doing an excellent job. The next slide is just our student status unknown. We really get to know our students here at Pioneer Tech. We get to know them on a personal level. We want to make certain that they're taken care of. And we do that through continual communication even after they've completed the program. It's not unusual for our teachers to call the students up and visit with them about how they're doing, which over the last several years, you can see that we've had a very low status unknown rate. And that means we had 0.5% of the students, less than 1% of the students who we couldn't find or couldn't track down. The Gold Star standard for this one across the state is less than 5%. So we're doing a lot better than what the Gold Star standard would indicate. And we attribute that to our teachers and the relationships that they have with the students. And we encourage those positive relationships with all of the students in our programs. Now, this slide is very interesting. We've tracked it over the last several years. You can see that the average wage in all of our programs is $13.21. In the last couple of years, we've had an increase, which is great. And it's always a competition to see which program has the highest wages coming out of the program. Machine Tool this year won out, $29 an hour is the average. And of course, we've got industrial tech, we've got practical nursing, and we've got welding that are typically in a competition to choose the top. But Machine Tool came out on top this year. I believe the student that came out with that wage was unemployed due to a closure of a local manufacturing company and doing extremely well. The other thing is that we're looking at is the number of student certifications. We have 373 students that took certification exams, but out of that, we have 753 credentials earned. So our students the students by and large are getting about 2 credentials each through their program area. Now, some students actually get more than that, and we do have a few students who, for whatever reason, aren't prepared for the credentialing, but on average, it's about two credentials per student. Now, the big thing for me is that we're making a huge impact on all of the student body. We're really helping the students find success, but the most important thing is whenever you think about the individual. Statistics tell a group, but if you can think about those students who were unemployed, who have a family, who came to Pioneer Technology Center to update their skills, they find something that they love to do, and they earn a high-paying, a high-wage job that they love. To me, that's nothing more important than that if you think about the individuals that we've helped, and we've helped a lot of individuals this year. So with that, I'll open it up to questions.
Orva, do you have a question?
Yes. How did the welding students get finished?
Are you talking this school year?
Yes, what are we doing for our welding students? I mean, did they get to finish or how did you handle that?
Well, all of our programs are kind of in a similar situation right now, since we're typically a hands-on skill-based program. So what
Right.
we're doing right now is focusing totally on the curriculum side of things, the theory behind welding. And then whenever we're allowed to bring students back on campus, we can provide opportunities in the summertime to get the skill side of things. We're talking about the same thing in medical assisting. When clinicals open up, the potential of having summertime classes for those students as well, much like construction would need some hands-on opportunities. So those are things that we're looking into moving forward. The big constraint on us right now is when we're allowed to bring students back on campus.
Right. Until the executive order is lifted, we're going to continue to provide online learning to finish the
Mhm.
students. But as soon as we have the opportunity to do face-to-face instruction, we can continue to do clinicals or certification exams. We're going to be trying to figure out a schedule for us to be able to get our students back in to accommodate those.
Good.
Any other questions?
Great numbers.
Go ahead, Gabe.
No, I just say that, the numbers look great. It's a lot of hard work year
Well,
after year, and it gets better.
You can definitely tell that the students care about their that the teachers care about their students, and then they put a lot of work into making sure that the students are successful.
Absolutely. And you can tell in the individual stories that we can share, we are truly enhancing lives and securing futures.
Good.
Thank you, Carol, for that report.
Well, you're welcome. My pleasure.
Okay, agenda item number 6, discussion and vote to approve or not approve the minutes of the April 2nd, 2020 special board meeting.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the April 2nd to 2020 Special Board of Education meeting.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve this minutes from the special board meeting of April the 2nd. Roll call, please.
Buck,
Yes,
Buck,
yes,
Norris,
Yes,
Rigdon. Did Rigdon,
Oh, yes.
Rothgeb,
Yes.
Pollock?
Yes.
agenda item number 7, discussion, review, and vote to approve or not approve the financial reports, activity fund report, and encumbrances change order list.
Okay, I don't know if you guys had difficulty reading those like I did, but thank you, Stacy, for sending those out to me email. I think they look very good. The encumbrance report certainly have plenty of room there, so we're not going to get ourselves in any trouble there. Unless any other people have any questions, I would move to approve the financials. The activity refund report and the encumbrance change order list with the general fund 41,421 through 41,502 and the building fund from 40053 to 40060.
second.
So been moved and seconded to approve agenda item number 7. Roll call, please.
Buck,
Yes,
Norris,
Yes,
Rigdon,
Yes.
Rothgeb,
Yes.
Pollock?
Yes.
agenda item number 8, administrative reports and anticipation discussion by the board and staff regarding facilities, disputes, and or student needs. Tracy?
All right. Well, board members, as I was preparing my report, it was amazing to me from right after our last board meeting in our board meeting in March, and just before spring break until our most recent board meeting last week, how many Zoom meetings that we've had. There has been a ton of coordination, a ton of meeting and planning to respond to this COVID-19 situation. And it just was amazing to see all of the different entities that we connected with to start the process of moving to online instruction and moving forward under these constraints with COVID-19. So it's just been an intensive process, and I'm extremely proud of everything that we've accomplished. We're still working on getting information about things that have come out of legislation with the COVID-19 situation. The federal legislature has approved some stimulus money in the form of a legislation called the CARES Act, and it will provide some financial aid funding for us to be able to disseminate to our post-secondary students. It's emergency funds to cover expenses related to disruption of campus operations. For our district, we're looking at having a total of about $262,000. Half of that could be distributed directly to students. We're still waiting for some guidance from the State Department of Career Tech on exactly how we can allocate those funds. But it's really nice to know that our federal government is trying to step in and help schools, higher ed institutions, accommodate students who have needs during this time. And as far as our deployment of online instruction, we had about 60 computers that were updated, provided with the right software that is necessary for students to do their content. We've deployed at least 30 of those, and we have some more that are available. We've got a few students who initially didn't think they needed a computer, but with brothers and sisters doing online instruction at home, maybe devices are needed more frequently, and so they needed another device. And so although they declined one to begin with, we're starting to see a few students still picking up some devices. So we do have those available for our students and staff to do their remote work and online instruction. We had an area superintendent meeting last week. I had polled our group. We typically meet once a month. We hadn't met since just before spring break. And with everything that has happened, all of the same changes that they're dealing with as far as finishing the school year, I thought it might be a good idea for us to just have a little bit of time to network. And they were very interested in connecting with one another and just talking through some of the common issues that they had. We had an excellent conversation. They were able to talk through how they're handling some of the food programs that they're running and some of their online instruction, how they're doing Wi-Fi or providing connectivity for students. I mean, it was just a wide gamut of conversation surrounding the COVID situation and how the schools are responding. And on the whole, they were all really glad to have the opportunity to connect. We probably won't meet again until closer to school starting, but you know, they all seemed to be in a very similar situation as we are, a good grasp on how we're moving forward and a plan for how to wrap up the school year. We do have a change to the school calendar. We will be in line with the State Department of Ed guidelines for closing the secondary student school year. They said between May 8th and May 15th. For us, May the 22nd was our ending date for high school students, but we're going to move it a week forward and close on May 15th. So that'll be the date that we'll wrap up with our secondary students. We still have the biomed instructor position open, and we are working on getting the job posting ready to go out for the medical assisting position that I shared with you last board meeting that Kelly McConnell had resigned to go back into industry. And so as soon as we get that position posting ready, we will put that out and start working on getting a medical assisting instructor.
Excuse me, Tracy.
Yes.
Relating to the question that Orva asked, how, if we close school on May 8th for the secondary students and we don't really reopen, in order to give them an opportunity to do the practical parts of the welding, and some of the other programs, how we meet their needs?
We will extend the school year for students that we need to meet the clinical requirements, or we can schedule them to come in and take a certification exam. As soon as we're able to do those face-to-face pieces that they need to
Mhm.
finish their programming, we will do that. But we can extend the school year for individual students as needed.
I see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're still working diligently to meet business and industry needs. Phillips 66 is running a small turnaround right now. And so safety training is still something that we're providing. They are following CDC guidelines. They're giving us a 24-hour notice so we can make certain that we have an individual ready to provide the training. They're doing it in groups of less than 10. So we're meeting those CDC requirements. They have to have a medical evaluation before they can come to do the testing
Mhm.
with us. So they're trying to use those that have already been trained as much as possible, but there's some little one-off, onesie twosies that we might need to do some individual training so that they can get certain people into the refinery to do work. We're on hold right now for the firefighting training that we were doing. It was a hybrid class. They were doing some online training and then they were coming here to do skills. And so those skills sessions are currently on hold until we can bring them back on campus and do the in-person pieces and trying to, fall within the guidelines. So right now, those are currently on hold. We're hoping to review that by April 30th and figure out after the executive order either expires or if the executive order is extended, we'll have a plan to go from there. Let's see, Ben Evans has done a Zoom meeting recently for some businesses on the SBA loans, getting some relief for businesses with the COVID-19 situation. And he hosted a Zoom meeting. Terry helped and was a pilot for that as well. And I think they had about 44 individuals that participated. Some were local people and some were not local people, but it was all about getting information to those that needed it to pursue those SBA loans. So they've been getting some requests from that as a follow-up from some banks talking about helping individuals get a profit and loss statement together. And I think Ben's going to be looking at doing some sort of a tutorial to follow up with that and helping these individuals get the right information together so they can get that paperwork submitted. As far as capital planning, if you've had the chance to drive by the school, you might notice that we had the parking lots cracks repaired and sealed. They've worked on curbing and parking space painting and striping. And in the north lot, which is the one where the students predominantly park, we changed the parking from straight spaces to angled spaces. So I think that's going to help us with better traffic flow in the parking lot and less fender benders potentially, because sometimes those straight parking spots are hard to get in and out of. Wanted to also remind you, I think I shared in one of my emails, but the timeline for our westward expansion is going to be pushed back a couple of weeks. Looks like now we're probably going to get the bids back by mid-May. And so we might possibly need to do a special board meeting at some point toward the end of May to go ahead and look at the bids for the project so that we could ideally be ready to start construction at the beginning of June. So if we need to do that between the May board meeting and the June board meeting, I'll keep you posted on that. But that's, provided that we get everything to flow with the timeline that we're currently thinking we have at this point. We do have a few upcoming events. So I did want to let you know that this coming Friday, we are going to allow OBI to host a blood drive here at Pioneer Tech. Visited with them about how they can manage the CDC guidelines. And so they will be restricting entrance directly into the seminar center from the north part of the building. There's a door on the north part that's in between Allison's office and Angela Ogden's office, and they can go directly into the seminar center. They will only allow a handful of people in at the time. They'll use the entire seminar center so they can have stations completely spread out. And so they will restrict traffic into the building. If all of their stations are being utilized, then they'll have people wait in their cars and they'll text them when it's their turn to come in. So they're going to try to manage the traffic and keep people socially distant. But it's such a critical need in this time with all of the health issues that people are experiencing. We felt that that was a critical function we needed to be able to provide. We did get a nice little thank you note from Blackwell Hospital about our donation of the PPE for them. And I don't have it yet in person, but as soon as I get it, I'll share that with you. But they were very appreciative of our contribution to the PPE. And I know Ponca City Hospital was as well. We've been continuing to do some 3D printing. We worked on some 3D printing of the masks, but there were also some of the little ear savers, the little devices that you could strap the
Plastic
mask earpieces to, so it didn't, constantly rub on your ears. And so we were doing some of those as well. So we've been doing what we can to help with the COVID situation and the PPE in that respect. And then the last thing I wanted to share is that, we're watching the budget situation for the remainder of this year. Dr. Mack has been involved in a number of budget meetings at the state level. The information she shared with us today is that the current agreement is that they will be fully funded for FY20, but FY21 is still being discussed, and they're being asked to potentially prepare a 3% budget cut. And so she has expressed to the superintendent's group that the department would potentially try to split that with us so that, they would offset as much of that as they possibly can. This would potentially take away a little bit of the funding that we had received last year to offset the health benefit allowance. At this point, our state allocations for funding are about 22.7%. So we're in a much better situation than our public school partners will be. If they take state cuts, it's going to be a much heavier percent of their budget than it will be for us. And, we're in really good shape at this point. And we've been very conservative. So we're just waiting to see what the legislature does with their current budget impasse, and we'll hear more from Dr. Mack as soon as she has more information. And with that, I think I will close. If you have any other questions, I'll be happy to entertain those.
Any update from the county assessor?
I haven't, and I have thought about her several times, and I'll make it a point to send Susan an email to see if she has any other information on how the wind farms are going.
I was just curious.
Yeah, I thought about that too.
Okay, thank you, Tracy. So Molly? There she is.
Hi, guys. Just I had a handful of things that I thought I would highlight, and then if you have any questions, feel free to ask. One thing that I was visiting with Mary about this morning, and she talked about how they're doing their nurse educator conference this week, and typically they go to Branson for that. And because of the situation, this is the first time they've actually done that full conference to get their CEUs online. So I think that's kind of I can't imagine going to a whole conference online, but so that's one thing, at least they're able to get their continuing ed for nurse education. So that's one thing they've been working on this week. And then Tracy talked about Ben doing his Zoom kind of Q&A session and the P&L tutorials. One of the things realized that as people are trying to apply for these things, they don't really know what a P&L is, and they don't have the tax returns forms like they would need. So kind of helping educate them in that area. And we do love the parking lot. Thank you, Mike, for getting that coordinated. That was one of the things that I was going to highlight. One thing that typically in the biz area in AT&D, once a month, there will be like a biz email blast, and then we'll have an AT&D email blast that just focuses on what's going on in those two kind of areas. And marketing has been working with this on just as we have things, kind of do just if we have something, we send the blast out so we don't hold on to it to wait for one, but just trying to keep people informed and up to date in real time. And just because of the situations and that we, things are changing so quickly, to make sure we keep our customers and clients informed. And then just want to just have a shout out to Stacy and the finance team, because we've really, as things have, schedules have changed, and whether we've had conferences we've canceled, we've been able to take some of those dollars that we would maybe be spending on lodging or something like that, and do some additional online training. And we're doing that in our safety area particularly. So because they're able to release those funds so quickly, we're able to just turn on a dime and make sure that we can work towards those professional growth areas. So just it's kind of fun to work at a place that can be so responsive and so innovative. And we have a great leader in Tracy. She's been the calm and very thoughtful in how we approach things. And it's nice to have someone that can model that for our team. So if you have any questions, let me or Kale know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Molly. Any questions for Molly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just a second. I couldn't get this printed, so I'm having to do it a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Agenda item 9, discussion and vote to accept or decline the bid for the 2020 multi PMZ HVAC project. Michael Orr.
Okay, there he is.
Hello, everyone.
Michael.
Hi. Last Tuesday on the 7th, we hosted a bid opening for sealed bids for those units that we had talked about a month or two ago. And the reason for that was they have reached their life expectancy on those units. And also we are hoping to save some money so we don't have to use a helicopter to place the units. And we're hoping that we would be able to have this done before the westward expansion project is started. And we've visited with Collar Construction, and they are on board with us to be able to do that. We did have 3 bids. We had one from Luckinbill from Enid. We had Stolhans here locally, and also Central Mechanical Wichita. And there was quite a bit of range in the bids. The lowest bid was $342,414. The next bid was $54,000 more, and then the top bid was $78,000 more. And so there was quite a bit of range in that. And so whenever I was discussing it with Josh from Stolhans, they thought that they wanted to try to get the bid, and so that they really worked hard to get that cost down. The project would probably take a day with the crane to pick the units and to reinstall them, and then the rest of the week to hook up the units and get the BACnet, which is our building automation system, connected and that. So the warranty on those would be a lot like what we've had in the past, and that is the 5-year on the compressor, 10-year on heat exchangers, and a year on parts, and labor. But we've had really good rapport with those guys at CME, that's the place that we would have those units built. And we've just had really good luck with them, good rapport with them, just really great units. And I would recommend to go with those again.
To go with Stolhand?
Yes, Stolhand was the
Okay,
lowest bid.
I wanted to make sure.
Yes, yeah, it was.
Thank you, Michael. Do I have a
Okay.
motion?
Make a motion, we accept the bid from Stolhand Wells for $342,414 for the HVAC.
Second.
project.
Sorry, second.
Okay, we have a motion to accept the Stolhand Wells bid for agenda item number 10. Roll call, please.
Buck,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes,
Rigdon,
Yes.
Rothschild,
Yes,
Philip,
Yes.
Agenda item 11, proposed
10.
session to discuss the contract with employees on Appendix B. Hello?
item 10.
Hello.
Huh? Item
Item
10. Okay, item 10, discussion vote to approve or not approve individuals on part-time and temporary employment, Appendix A.
I move for approval of item number 10.
Been moved and seconded to approve agenda item number 10. Roll call, please.
Who's second?
JD.
Orba. I was kidding.
Okay. Buck,
Yes.
Norris,
yes,
Rigdon,
Yes.
Rothschild,
yes,
Solik,
Yes.
Okay, now agenda item number 11. Proposed executive session to discuss the contract renewals for employees listed on Appendix B, support staff, Oklahoma State Title 25-307B1. Hearing no motion for the executive session. We'll skip down to agenda item number 15. Motion to approve or not approve contract renewals as listed on Appendix B, support staff.
Stacy, do you have any comments or any concerns?
No, I have no concerns. I recommend approval of the employment group listed on Appendix B.
I'd move to approve the contract renewals for those listed on Appendix B.
second,
It's been moved and seconded to approve the contract renewals as listed on Appendix B. Roll call, please.
Buck,
Yes.
Norris,
yes,
Rigdon,
Yes.
Rothschild,
yes,
Solik,
Yes.
Okay, agenda item number 16, public comment.
Is none.
Would you sit still, please?
I like your new drawl, Larry.
Sorry,
I like your drawl.
Yeah,
Your
my draw.
it's Arkansas drawl.
Oh, my Arkansas draw.
Well,
Your
your
audio
computer is
is-
slow.
Is a little slow and it's,
Oh,
yeah.
is it really slow? Really
Very.
slow, huh?
We weren't making fun of you.
Dragging. It's good.
Well, thanks
Okay.
again,
Did you?
Pioneer Tech, for everything you're
Adjourn the
doing.
meeting?
Hang it here.
No, we haven't adjourned the meeting yet, though.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
any
you,
other
Gay.
comments before we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Gay had a comment.
Okay,
Well, I just wanted to thank Tracy and the admins and the staff and support staff, for everybody, you know, for accomplishing what they've got done so far. I can't imagine. So thank you again, as always.
Well, we appreciate you too.
Thank you.
yeah, thank you, everybody. So we need a motion to adjourn.
I move we
Or you
adjourn.
can just adjourn.
Online, you can't.
No, not online. We have to do a vote. Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Did we do that the last time?
I'll second.
I have
Gay's
a motion. I didn't hear a second.
I did. Second.
Okay,
Okay, who made the motion?
I
the
Gay.
motion was by Gay. I didn't hear who the second was. So Mary?
Mary.
Mary?
Yes.
Okay. So roll call, please.
Buck,
Yes.
Norris?
It's your
Norris?
turn, Gay.
But she can call my name. Yeah.
I did.
Rigdon says yes.
Okay, Ralph Gibb,
Yes.
Golick,
Yes.
Okay, meeting adjourned.